we're going to start with volume, no? So personally ako, before I start, I don't really use a lot of indicators when I trade, no? I mostly use the indicators that are going to be discussed in this lesson. So volume, moving averages, and RSI. And ako kasi, I'm more of a price structure type of trader, no? Like I discussed in lesson number 2, but I'll show you guys how I use these indicators, no? So let's start. So una, how to read volume. So saan nga ba makikita yung volume, no, sa chart natin? It's actually what we can see here at the bottom part of price, right? So ngayon, ano tong parang blue na tubig na wave? So that's the 20-day parang average volume. So whenever volume is just parang within that blue wave, ibig sabihin nun, it's just within the average or volume is below average over the past 20 days. While if prices or volume rather, nagsaspike siya above yung parang blue na wave na yan, that means volume is above average. So ano nga ba pala yung volume, right? So volume, this indicator basically shows you how much, well, sa stock market, how much shares, right, are bought and sold, diba? So syempre, if green yung candlestick, green din yung volume. So that shows you that there were a lot of buy-ups, there's a lot of demand, right, buying up that specific asset, right? So same case dito sa crypto, right? So whenever prices are going higher, green yung candles, right, green din yung volume. So it shows you how much demand or how much selling there is in a particular day. So how can you use yung volume indicator? So there's really different ways to use it. And there's also a certain way I like to look at it. So una muna, let's talk about confirmation of a breakout. So we already discussed ano nga ba yung breakout, right? It's a potential start of a big move. It's a potential start of an uptrend. And this is where you can make the biggest amount of money if you're able to catch the right leader in the right market cycle, as discussed by Bear. So you want to get it in that advancing stage, getting it off continuation patterns, as discussed by Kahane. So now, what you also want to look at to see if, like I mentioned kasi before, a breakout, pwede siyang hindi successful eh. Right? But a sign that a breakout na pwede talaga siyang tumuloy is if you can see above average volume on the day of the breakout and the days afterwards, no? So in this case, we see Ethereum here is actually coming off a larger pattern pero di na nasama sa screenshot. But we see a clear breakout here. And ako kasi, when I really size up a position, I want to make sure there's volume coming into the market. So in this case, Ethereum, you see a breakout above average volume. Eventually, that was the beginning, right, na tumuloy siya. And kita mo, right? Kita mo pa rin dito sa larger chart na talagang grabe yung volume spike nung time na nag-breakout siya above the 200 na range or the resistance, no? Same here, we have Matic, we have a clear sideways trend, we have a clear level of resistance here. The once it broke out, you can see na malakas yung volume. So that's a sign na okay, hindi siya sure ball, pero mataas yung probability na tumuloy ito. Kasi nga, ang ganda ng volume. And at the time, the market was really good nung period na to. And, there's history. It went up 500% in about 2-3 weeks, in about a month. So, last talaga. So, yun yung power ng volume, right? It really tells you na, okay, at least in the case of breakouts, na okay, mataas yung probability na tumuloy ito, right? And now, syempre, you can also use it in the opposite way. Let's say you're shorting or, you're trying to avoid breakdowns. Above average volume on the downside can be a confirmation of a breakdown. Bakit? Kasi this shows you na, okay, there's so much sellers. There's so much selling pressure, right? So prices are breaking down and kitang-kita rin sa volume, right? So as you can see here, it is a very significant level of support for LTC, dating resistance, then turned to a new support level, then eventually broke down, right? So engulfing candle na nga, ang laki ng red candle, ang laki din nung volume on the downside. So that's a warning sign na, okay, it's probably time to sell my position if I have, or it's time to avoid this specific token. And that was just the beginning of, right, the move lower. Another example would be FTM. You have a clear head and shoulders pattern here, or double top pattern rather. Then you can see na, ito, medyo downtrend na siya dito eh. Pero yung talagang confirmation of the move lower was after, or the confirmation na, okay, this can move even lower pa, right? Kasi from tres, nagpiso na eh. Diba? Pero nag-breakdown palalo. And then above average on yung volume. And from there, it just lost even more, like 80% of its value pa from that point. Right? And now, ito. So now when we're looking at breakouts and breakdowns, when we're looking at volume, you don't just look at the volume on the day of the breakout or on the day of the breakdown. So obviously, when we're looking at price structures, So, syempre may volume din nakasama yun, right? Syempre palagi may volume nakasama. So, there's a specific type of volume activity that you like to see. And particularly, this is focusing on market leaders, right? And this is something I learned from Mark Minervini, William O'Neill. So, what you want to see, right? If you're trading an uptrend, if you're trading market leaders, is you want to see low volume consolidations coupled with high volume breakouts, right? So here's an example. So here we have Mana. This was one of the strongest tokens in about mid 2021. You can see that it was simply consolidating in this flag, in this pennant, whatever you want to call it. Kasi kagandahan dito, you can see that volume, now while prices were consolidating here, you can see that volume was also decreasing, right? So why do you want to see low volume consolidations? Because this means that there is little supply coming into the market. Onti na lang yung sellers sa pupasok sa market. And if we see demand pick up in a form of a breakout, in a form of an accumulation type of movement, talaga makikita mo na mataas yung chance din na tumuloy siya, na market leader siya, right? And as you can see here kay Mana, yun nga yung nangyari. We have clear low volume consolidation and then boom, sobrang lakas sa breakout, which eventually resulted in a 500% move in 3 trading days, right? Another example would be, for example, here's a Bitcoin. So you have a big move higher, and again, you don't want to be chasing prices, you want to be waiting for that consolidation. And we had it here, right? We had that consolidation here, and you can see na below average yung volume. So you have that low volume consolidation. So now you may be saying, o bakit dito sa pang green na box ay highlight mo, no? Ang laki ng selling pressure nung time na yon, right? Yes, malaki yung selling pressure nung time na yon, but yeah, we always have to take things into context, right? It was coming from a move from 900 to around 3,000. There was obviously going to be profit taking, right? But there's always going to be profit taking in big moves and big trends. Pero yung mahalaga dito is, of course, the prices should always hold above their key support levels, right? So we'll always see moments like this na malakas yung selling. But as you can see, when it consolidated, nag-follow up naman siya na low volume lang, right? So you can see that there was less and less supply coming into the market. At the same time, Bitcoin at this point was able to hold, right, its swing low. Nag-hold siya, nag-rally. So those are good signs to me that eventually, right, nag-breakout siya, high volume, check. So na-check yung mga checklist natin. And then, if you remember my second lesson, I taught you guys about role reversals or retests. So just to show it again, na talagang it happens all the time. Hindi mo all the time, but it happens, right? If you missed on that initial breakout, you have that retest. Diba? And it held above that resistance level. And then, diba, there's history. After that, Bitcoin went on to rally to that coveted 20,000 level before, right? So another 600% move from there. And then here's another, mas recent example. We have FET, right? We have a very strong run-up here. Actually, dito pala, kita mo na eh. You have a run-up, you have a low volume, below average volume consolidation. Then you have a run-up on high volume. If you missed out on that, that's okay. You're not an intraday trader. You waited for that daily consolidation. You have it here. You see volume declining. That means there's less supply coming into the market. There's less sellers coming into the market. And if this breaks out on above average volume, malaking chance tumuloy. We have that here. And then it made that almost a bagger move in just a week, right? 5 trading days. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 trading days. So that's the type of volume activity that you want to see. Again, you want to see low volume consolidation followed by high volume breakouts, right? And actually, yun na yung discussion ko on volume, right? But one thing you really want to remember is at the end of the day, price is still king, diba? Volume is there. The way I use volume, parang gravy lang siya. Yung price, yung parang yung ulam. Price is still king. Volume is more of a way for me to read na, okay, maganda yung price movement, maganda yung volume activity, you're seeing low volume consolidation, you're seeing high volume breakouts, right? So, tumataas yung conviction ko to trade those types of setups.